Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. A few days back, we went through and reacted to some older Warzone 1 gameplay. Straight up just watching a full match of one of my old Warzone 1 gameplays. And in that video, I asked if that was something you guys wanted to see more of. The general reception was overwhelmingly positive. You guys really seem to enjoy the nostalgia trip. And so today, I figured, how about we go and check out some peak Warzone, in my opinion. We'll discuss it throughout the video, but this is OG Modern Warfare Season 6 Warzone gameplay, where obviously it's the Halloween event. This was the trick-or-treat event, the Halloween LTM on Verdansk, which is essentially kind of like mini Resurgence in a way. The area on the map is obviously cut down. You can see it's actually one of the better portions of the map. It's cut down and we're shooting in the sky again. Oh, this is so... we need this back. It has to be a thing, right? Anyways, it's this whole cut down portion of the map. So we got Superstore, we've got Boneyard and everywhere around there, you know, the train station and whatnot. And like I said, the last time we went through and we discussed all this, you guys really seemed to enjoy the content, going back and reacting live to some old Warzone gameplay that I haven't really watched or seen in some time, and sort of reliving the peak version of Warzone. Now, that's obviously a subjective take, right? What is the peak version of Warzone is not really an objective thing. You can't say this is definitively the absolute best time in Warzone history. Everyone's got their own 2 cents, right? Some of you might think it is during the Cold War era. The Nakatomi Tower era, I think, was awesome, where you could land there, you know, get specialist off rip, get $100,000 and just be set for the entire game. You could run and gun and everything. I swear I just heard a door behind me in that building. I don't know if I'm calling that to Corey. I am playing with Ink Slasher. We're playing a little duo in this gameplay, which is not something I did a ton of in Warzone 1, but nonetheless, that's what we got going on in this one. But yeah, like Nakatomi Tower era of Cold War Warzone was fantastic. It was so fast paced for being big map battle royale, right? I think that is right up there with the best of the best. This though, the Halloween event, the haunting event for Warzone 1 during Modern Warfare was just so good. Verdansk at night, an entirely new element to this map that we'd never experienced before. The zombie LTM, where you could actually spawn in as a zombie when you get taken out, come back at the vials. If you get enough, you come back into the gameplay, which I'm sure we'll be doing plenty of times in this match. Just something about this was so good. The meta was phenomenal. This version of the map is just so much fun. We're gonna see how it plays out here. So obviously still getting geared up early game here. Not landing Superstore means you don't come out with a ton of money when there's just a couple of hangars to loot, but this honestly was like one of our main go-to drop-ins. If Superstore seemed like it was gonna be too hot or not worth the time, we were gonna get taken out too randomly because it was just absolute chaos. Divert over to hangars, you get some decent loot and you can do a quick rotate into Superstore in the apps areas. You got plenty of buy stations as well to get your loadout and gear up. This is back obviously when loadouts were also just a generally universal price as well. It wasn't you know, a set price for solos, duos, trios, and quads. I think the way that it's set and scaled between modes is probably better now. I don't know. I'm curious to know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Did you like when it was just 10 grand outright, or do you like that it's 10 grand or whatever it is in duos and then 12 grand in trios? There's a guy jumping down in on Corey from the left there from the police station. He hears him though. Or I just have elite comms like I just did maybe all the way back when this was going on. The one thing about this, oh, that AK recoil. This was not a gun players used much of back in the day. The AK was not fantastic. We got the gas grenade spam. This is just like Warzone now, where everyone's running around with the gas nades. Although that was the result of a zombie, which was hilarious because they had like the super speed, the insane lunge on the melees. So it's like, you think you're okay because it's just a zombie running at you. They ain't got no guns. They ain't got nothing. It's just a melee only. And then they start super jumping at you and going crazy. Perfectly timed. You're like, oh, maybe I have to take it a little bit more seriously, right? Things might get a bit more chaotic. Kind of crazy that we're just like out here. I mean, we're on the edge of zone to be fair, but just running through the middle of the map, not slide canceling, not doing much here. This was not the most extreme of gameplay when it comes to being sweaty. We got another red dot right in the crates on us. Is this a human or is this a zombie? I can't. Oh no, zombies do show up on the map, but they show as like little zombie purple icons there. And you already know for the loadout, this guy was just ratting in there. He was hiding, waiting. We got the Kilo and we got the MP7. Now, when I'm recording this video, all these new leaks are surfacing in regards to some OG Warzone 1 weapons dropping, including the Kilo reportedly being one of them. We got a full trio running up here, which means I guess we are in trios gameplay, just duo trioing. That guy rips me off the rip. Rips me off the rip. We got the rock cover though. That was like the only place on the map in this area where I could have been fighting and actually dipped right down into some cover. I got the bright pink tracers on the Kilo too, and I'm getting lit up by the zombie. They come through, they like EMP nade you. That guy drops so much cash as a zombie. That was like 22 crates worth of cash in modern day Warzone, where there's just $250 in every single one of them, right? But now, you know, looking back on it, we're playing a nighttime version of Verdansk. It's dark out. There's a zombie to my right. I heard that. Very dark out. And I'm running bright pink tracers. Just a little bit obvious, right? Just gonna stand out a tad bit. Hey, we're clutched up though. Still one more. How much ammo in the MP7? Luckily, this is the version of Warzone where we're still learning the game. I mean, we're only 3 seasons into Warzone at this point. 3 or 4 seasons in. Being season 6 of MW 2019. That dude was just like floating and sliding on the ground. What was that? I don't remember that being a thing. That was a weird like animation that was going on. Is that because he slammed into the ground at a surface on those rocks, so he just like slid all the way down? But yeah, this is still, I mean, there were sweaty elements to Warzone. We obviously had the meta builds and everything, but it wasn't the constant every single person's slide canceling, and going crazy, B hops. I mean, I'm not even slide canceling that much. Got Corey back up in here. You can just straight up buy your guy back from being a zombie. I forgot about that as well. We're loading up on the UAVs. We got the advanced UAV, a second loadout. We had so much cash. I just switch over to a fully loaded class setup. What did I switch over to there? Either way, I wanted it. And we still got the MP7. We got the Kilo with that classic blue dot. The hollow sight. There are so many builds from back in the day that are just like, yep, that just, it was a different style of meta. Now it's a lot of it is copy and paste. And even though a lot of it was back then too, like you oftentimes ran, you know, a 3x scope, or you ran a blue dot hollow. And then you had like the T-pose reticle or whatever it was on like the AMAX. The guns, even though it was remotely the same builds across the board, they all had their own personality to them. I just don't know if that's really a thing these days. I feel like it really hasn't been a thing that much. Weirdly enough, since the Vanguard era, like just this new era of COD, MW2, MW3, now Black Ops 6, the weapon builds, they don't feel the same. They don't hit the same as they did back in Warzone 1. I don't know why that is. That might be an entirely subjective thing. You might be obsessed with like a certain, like the M13B from MW2. And if you are, more power to you. I mean, there's certainly some more unique builds dating back to MW2 because of weapon tuning and everything. Then MW3 brought it more in line with like Warzone 1, obviously, where it's a bit more straightforward. Black Ops 6 is especially straightforward. I mean, every single gun essentially has the same few attachments, depending on if you're using a rifle or an SMG or whatever. Whereas Warzone 1, there were some mainstays for sure. Like monolithic suppressor was on everything. You got the thermite meta? This is when equipment was actually crazy on vehicles. They jumped out and I had no idea. But we got them. We're good. There's still one hiding on the vehicle using it as mobile cover. Man, that Kilo recoil is so easy. It's crazy looking back at this, and the guns are just so straightforward. I think that's a big part of the reason with some of the success here is that everyone could pick up a gun and it wasn't some huge learning curve. Now there is value in that skill gap and there is rewards in that skill gap, learning to use the more difficult guns and to master the recoil and whatnot, but Warzone 1 just had such a easy entry point that anyone could pick it up and feel confident in some way, shape, or form. We got the stopping power rounds in. Okay, I forgot all this. You know, you think back at Warzone 1 and you think of it as just like this perfect, it was this flawless situation. At least some people do, right? And for the most part, everyone agrees like it was the better version of Warzone. But then you have things like the stopping power rounds, which is like, oh, thank goodness those are not in the game anymore, right? Stopping power was not a fun thing to run into. Yeah, dead silence as a field upgrade too, where you're depending on footsteps because audio was actually solid and remotely consistent back in Warzone 1, right? You're like, oh, somebody's pushing up my stairs. Then they pop that deadie and you have zero clue where they're running, right? And so it's a consistency thing there. Then stopping power, it's like, okay, I'm using a Kilo, they're using an underwhelming rifle, an AK or something. Let's say, you know, we know what the TTK is going to be like here, what the damage is going to be like. I'm going to have to land X amount of shots. They're going to have to land Y amount of shots to win the fight. Then you introduce stopping power and it's like, okay, well, throw all that out of the window. It's just, can this guy hit shots? He wins. GG, right? It's just a end all be all answer. We got money on money. We popping advanced UAVs like crazy. Unfortunately, because we landed so far out to the right at hangars there, the entire map is all pushed in. All the players are nowhere near where we were. We do got 8 kills off rip though, which is solid for what this mode is, where it's cut down a little bit. Bunch of zombies fighting out in the field by the gas station and everything over by Superstore. So we rotate into Storage Town. There were times too when Storage Town was popping off simply because the plunder meta. Everyone would just go to storage the entire game. That was like the unwritten rule of it, right? I don't think it was necessary to thermite that guy. What was, I wasted, I mean, I have restock on. I think that's why I probably grabbed that second loadout now that I think about it. I have restock on, but why did I do that? That was so mean for no reason, right? We still got the stopping power MP7, so that means I got no fear if somebody pushes me close range, like maybe a zombie. They had the gas grenades, they had the super jumps, they had the crazy lunge too. Did they have anything else? I mean, if they had the gas nades now in Modern Warzone like this, if the zombies had the current day gas nades, it would be a nightmare. Those things were so hard to get past. The stopping power rounds did not serve me well. It's a good thing that that guy got his second vial and disappeared. Otherwise, he would have absolutely ripped me one. We're cleaning up, but more guys are landing in. And this is still where aim assist would break if you looked through objects like the fences. This still happens in current Warzone too, in certain places. If you look at a bush rung or look past a bush rung or a fence rung, your aim assist breaks. That used to happen like crazy back in Warzone 1. Before we got the self-revive off, we got a zombie in zone. I'm still just trying to pick up the satchel. Hey, even with floating loot, there were problems there. You heard the spam. I wanted that satchel and I still couldn't pick it up correctly. It's so funny. So many of the same issues just persist in a different way now in Modern Warzone compared to Warzone 1, right? That guy was trying to hide around the corner. He thought he was making the 200 IQ play. This guy's hiding behind the hay bale. Even more of a 200 IQ play, right? He probably just wants the vials that were right in front. And you disappear into the gas and you just can't see him anymore because the nighttime is so crazy. The visibility is absurd. But even now it's nighttime and it's like the lighting here is you can see players for the most part. The rose skins certainly blended in a decent bit here, you know, other skins like that, but kind of crazy, man. Even nighttime Verdansk had good lighting compared to certain other elements of Warzone and iterations of Warzone. I am curious though. Obviously, since we get to just react to this gameplay, I'm frying with a kilo. I miss it, man. I miss it. That guy called me as one shot. Sir, did you even break my plates? I think I still had a sliver of a plate there. Anyways, as we get to just react to gameplay here, that means I get to yap about how much I enjoyed certain elements of Warzone, right? Not that where I got fried. I clutched up that self though. I had barely a sliver there. This guy's not finishing me? Oh, this would never happen in current Warzone. I get insta finished immediately now. Maybe this is what I miss the most, where I just don't instantaneously die anytime I get knocked, right? I don't know. My COD timing is insane, and all my squad can attest to it. Storage town is going crazy. This guy's on top of the pool. But yeah, with Warzone now in Verdansk, obviously we have all the leaks, all the rumors about it surfacing in recent days because of, why is it so stuttery all of a sudden? I'm getting weird frame drops. Because of all the leaks coming out with Season 2 Reloaded leading up to Season 3. I am curious, since all the leaks say that we're going back to the original version of Verdansk, if throughout the upcoming seasons, as we see, you know, Season 4 of Black Ops 6, Season 5, Season 6, we get around to these holiday events again, if we see this LTM where it's nighttime Verdansk added back into the game, Zombie Royale is added back into the game, and we sort of relive a lot of these iconic Verdansk updates that we saw over time. The current leaks, at least... I'm gonna have to mute the VOD here, because Jack Harlow is currently blasting from my soundtrack. Yeah, that's gonna get me copyright struck if I keep this in the video, so you guys don't get audio currently. That just threw me for a loop, bro. I jumped in the car and Jack Harlow started playing, bro. I forgot that was a thing as well. Oh, Warzone was so crazy during this. Anyways, as I was saying, hit a shot, Zach. Come on, dude. I'm curious if with the leaks that are coming out now saying that we're gonna have OG Verdansk, the train station interior is gonna be closed. What was that guy's game plan? Just dropping in for fun? I think that's the same guys we were killing over at hangars at the start of the game too. I'm curious as these seasons evolve, if they do go through and they open up the train station in full and detail the roof and everything inside like they did in Warzone 1. And then we see the subway stations added back in where you can fast travel across the map, and maybe as they go throughout the seasons, we start to relive some of that. Obviously, there's going to be a certain audience that complains that doesn't want them to just redo all the original Verdansk updates. You know, why not start with all those implemented? But then also at the same time, it's kind of cool to relive that. If they're going all in on the nostalgia, I mean, I feel like that's sort of a practical thing to do, is go all in on the nostalgia. That guy was really trying to post up on the edge of the map there. Man, some of these zones here where you got an end game up here, half of the zone was like out of bounds and it was nothing just but trees. Happy hour started. That was a thing too in Warzone 1. You could set your time of day. If you always knew you were playing from like 6 to 8 p.m. at night, you could set your happy hour and get double XP for an hour. Bruh, I can't believe that thing popped up in this gameplay. That's so funny. I completely forgot that existed. See, that's why I love doing videos like this, and I'm so glad you guys enjoyed the first one we did, where we went back and watched some high kill gameplay, because it is just, it's so fun to go back and have things like that pop up, and you're just like, oh, that was such a small thing back in the day, but that was so funny. That was so cool that popped up. And of course, as we continue to approach the return of Verdansk here in a few short weeks, I'm not sure when exactly this video is going up. If you guys want to continue to see these videos here and there, obviously it won't be like a daily thing. That's a little bit too much spam at that point. But if you guys want to see here and there as we, lead up to the relaunch of Verdansk, me going back, I have a bunch of different gameplays saved from old Warzone on various hard drives, right? So if you guys want to see us continue to do this, where we go back and we look at these gameplays and we relive some of these classic Verdansk and Warzone 1 moments, just simply let me know by dropping a like on the video. Leave me a comment down below, because I'm happy to do so if this is content you guys are really enjoying. I know, like I said, the last one got a lot of really good feedback. We got guys right in the edge of zone. I mean, this is just not the place you want to be. You can't wait that long in that area because it's just the field. You had the zone to your back. You have to keep moving forward, and there was zero cover there whatsoever. We got pretty much a flawless experience. Okay, I'm so sorry I started to speak there. This guy is cheating. I remember this now. That guy is cheating. I'm very sure that guy is cheating. And that's why I died there. I think I remember this gameplay a little bit more now that we ran into a cheater in this mode. I know there's a separate one where we ran into an absolutely crazy one as well from back when I used to stream on Twitch, but that's wild. That was a level 55 who just beamed a guy out of the sky and then immediately gunned me. I mean, we only watched the kill cam, so I don't think we'll know for sure, but that looked pretty crazy there. Either way, we got back. As I was going to say before I got fried there, we had a pretty much flawless experience going on. Corey only died, I think, once or twice. We bought him back. I was doing good there on the self-revives. The rose skin, obviously, not blending in as much there. Pretty bright in this courtyard area. There was a second one, and I don't know why I didn't anticipate that. Easy money sniper. Isn't that KD's gamer tag? But now we're back as a zombie again. So we went from having a flawless experience, basically, not dying, just fragging out, to dying multiple times here endgame. And now you have to come through, you got to land on the vials, and then as obviously you get later into the game, there's less people alive, fewer vials, and everyone's gunning for the same few. I know when they brought this back not too long ago, what, on Urzikstan or whatever, the end games are crazy when there's 20 zombies up and there's 2 vials left and everyone's just gunning for them. Everyone's dropping a self-revive in this too, which, hey, I ain't complaining. This guy's landing back right on top of us. I mean, I respect the push. It's just probably not going to pay off well. And I think in the feed, oh no, we're both getting taken out. Now, the thing with this LTM is that you can both get taken out. You just have to not die as zombies. So now the pressure's on. I don't remember actually what happens here. Obviously, this is multiple years back and it's one gameplay. If my mind worked like that, I'd be impressed, but unfortunately it doesn't. We got a lot of vials on the map though, luckily, although a guy did just land right here on these rocks. He's gonna take him, isn't he? Yep, I stumbled too much there and didn't use the super jump, and I cost myself a vial. At least there's a lot left, otherwise that could have been pretty rough. Surely this guy, I was gonna say, surely the other zombie next to me doesn't steal one as well. That would have been real bad. We're back. You spawn in so low. I didn't even realize. I'm like 50 meters in the sky when I come back there. I'm playing with independent FOV too, not affected, so every time I zoom in on ADS, my FOV goes super zoomed in. I had no idea you spawned in so low. I don't remember that. You spawn so high in current Warzone with all the spawn protection too, of course. Like in this, there was no mercy. If you spawn in, you're in the sky. Be prepared to get shot at. We got epic in-game music going. It's only 2 versus 3, but there are 10 zombies up, so I assume we're gonna get bombarded. There is so much money every time I take out a zombie. That's crazy. Then you compare it to now, where it's just, there's no money anywhere unless you do contracts. We got guys back, but everyone came back. It was 2 versus 3 there, 2 to 3. Me and Corey were up, and there was one other guy, and then the zombie just absolutely destroys me. And got all the way back up to, I think, 7 players, so 4 players came back. Now there's only 4 players, so very few vials. 6 zombies still. This is a crazy awkward zone too. It's just like all the train tracks in the middle of the street here. Zach, there's vials right next to you. Brother, why did I not turn around and go for the other one? Either way, I'm getting one. Man, I look back at this stuff and I just question what is going through my mind right now. That was actually a super convenient spawn too. They put me right back over the safe zone. That was a little generous there. And in Boneyard, again, just me and Corey up now. Where's Corey? No, Corey's alive. So Corey's full human. I'm full human. One other full human and 4 zombies. And now there's another human. All the zombies, bro. It's just free kills. You could rack up the kill count in this mode. Oh, poor guy's dropping in. 1 team left. And the zombie that's playing Ring Around the Rosie with Corey. Nice. And we get the epic little pumpkin Warzone victory. Hey, man. Something about this version of Warzone, it was just so good. The Haunting event originally, I mean, all the Haunting events I think have been phenomenal. As bad as Call of Duty has, you know, roller coastered over the years, ups and downs, every single year they nail the Haunting event. MW2, a down year, the Haunting event was incredible. I've liked it every single time, but I think the original one is still the GOAT, at least in my opinion. But yeah, that is some peak Warzone, in my opinion. If you guys want to see more videos like this, as I mentioned earlier, be sure to drop a like, drop me a comment down below as well. And if you're new to the channel, you want to guarantee you're always in the know for everything going on in COD, feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.